Hello, I'm the official name reader. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today we're looking at Murkrow and Honchkrow, and because Honchkrow, that means it'll be inside the Citadel playlist as well as Johto. So basically this was like the only thing I was expecting from this episode because I don't remember when or why, but I remember looking something up about this in the past to where all the nicknames for Honchkrow basically tied to the Mafia. So Al Capone, that works. I don't really care. I think it's fine. Yeah. Godfather's not bad. Ravenclaw's not bad. Both of those work. Ravenclaw actually fits kind of well. But you could probably also use Ravenclaw for Corviknight too, thinking about it. And I guess on the subject of Corviknight, when I first saw it, I went the route of Edgar Allan Poe, and I decided to win if I ever buy Sword and Shield, because that game's not worth full price. I'm going to name it Nevermore. So, if you want to use that nickname, you could also use that on Honchkrow as well. Did it say Godfather on the other one, or did it say Godfeather and I just misread it? Because this one says Godfeather, which is technically different, and kind of a play on words with that and the bird part. So I guess if you want to variate it, change it a little bit, there's that too. And more going with the typical Mafia style Scarface, there's another pretty easy obvious choice. It works, I don't have any complaints. And I guess we can acknowledge it if you don't want to put Godfather or Godfeather and you want to take another literal route, kind of like Batman in Gotham. You could also use Homeboy's last name if you want to take that too. Okay, I actually kind of like Status Crow. That's very stupid, but also it made me smile, so congratulations on your wordplay. I misread Death Row as Death Crow, and more wordplay. I'm not sure how many people would get that. Because they might just think Death Crow is in, oh, get it, like Murkrow, and they might not think Death Row, so I think that one might have to get a pass, but the idea popped in my head, sometimes misreading, sometimes my dyslexia helps me. This is strangely the second time I've seen a pimp joke or a pimp comment about Honchkrow, and like, I never thought about it before. I sorta get it when you consider like blinged out vibrant purple. It's weird, but sure, if that's your thing, man, go for it. Okay, I actually really like Wizrobe, but I don't think it fits Honchkrow. I think I'd rather see Wizrobe on Alakazam. I think that's a good Alakazam name. And I think I'm going to go back and put that on the description for Alakazam. In case you didn't know, sometimes if I come up or read ideas that I think will be better for Pokemon than I've already recorded, I go back and I edit the descriptions. Okay, so I really like Diavol? I don't know, it's been years since I've seen Maleficent. I like it. I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's associated with any other things, and it's just original and different. I also wanted to acknowledge Giovanni, because that was technically in the name reader site too. I was thinking on whether or not I wanted to talk about it, I was like, nah. But Giovanni is really, really fucking weird when it comes to his signature Pokemon. Like, to me, it's going to be something like Persian or Mewtwo, and in a weird way, I actually think Honchkrow is pretty well associated with him because of the Heart Gold fight. And, like, it mimics his appearance in that way, and because so many ties to the Mafia, and then the idea that Team Rocket is basically just the fucking Mafia. So, I think it works. I think you could get away with it. Like, who else would you say is his signature Pokemon? I feel like it would be probably Rhydon or Nidoking as well, but the thing is, I don't know if I just think of them. Like, you do when it comes to the games, because that's like Rhydon is his strongest, but in general, I feel like most people probably wouldn't associate Giovanni that as his signature Pokemon. I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge D-Killer. As a name, I honestly don't really care about it. I don't think it's that good. But if you're a fan of the Ace Attorney series, you'll probably get a kick out of it. Alright, first thing he says, we already talked about Giovanni, so we could skip that. Scarecrow, I've honestly thought that Scarecrow fits Cacturne best, but I'm pretty sure its Pokedex entry literally calls it the Scarecrow Pokemon, so as a result, what comes to being a cool nickname idea just kind of makes you look like a fucking idiot. As far as how well it fits, I guess it kind of sort of fits Honchkrow, because when you think about most Scarecrow, basically that was the fucking point. You know, when you think of the birds that are on Scarecrows, they're crows. Like, wow, you put 2 and 2 together. Congratulations. Madam Fear I don't like, but if you wanted to just shorten it and just call it Fear or something along those lines, I think it sounds a little bit better. Night Scream sounds like a rejected Transformer, and Godfather we've already talked about. Alright, I kind of want to just talk about this just real quick. It's not really related to the nicknames, but I kind of am jealous a little bit of, you know, different languages and having sometimes better names. So I actually do think Core Boss is probably the best name out of it. I think it's kind of cool sounding. But what I really like out of here is Ohm Massacre. That's badass. Why can't we get cool names like that? Alright, we're going to go ahead and skim this one real quick. So I've seen these two before, and I kind of generally skip over most mythology stuff just because it's cliche to hell and back. Edgar Allan and Poe, I don't think it's really going to work. I think if you're going to do it, I think Nevermore is a much better idea. I've seen Morgan Le Fay a couple times, and I don't really have an opinion on it. The only thing I really have to say is when I played Ace Attorney, I didn't realize that Morgan Fay was based off Morgan Le Fay. It took someone saying it, and I was like, wow, I'm really stupid for not putting those two together. And then Snake, like, if you name your Honchkrow Snake, people are going to be confused. But if you named it Big Boss, I feel like you might be able to get away with things, but at the same time, it's also the big boss Pokemon, so I don't know. That's a double-edged sword where it's like, on one hand, you could be a Metal Gear reference, on the other hand, you could look like a doofus. I want to know who thought Honchkrow belonged on Urban Dictionary. Okay, so I've been thinking honestly about how to possibly incorporate this in, because this has kind of been on my mind the whole time, and I was like, I wonder if there's some sort of way to tie the 1994 Crow film to Honchkrow as a nickname. And like naming it Brandon Lee, like that's, I feel like, an easy way of doing it. And then the character's name in the film is Eric Draven, which kind of, I don't know, it feels a little bit too much for me. So those are ideas, but I think maybe the best one might be to just name it Sting. And it's not so much to do with that as it is the fact that the Sting makeup that, you know, eventually came to be was based off of that film. So that's probably as close as you're going to get. I guess if you also want to take this direction instead of saying Nevermore, that could work too. I don't know how many people are going to get it, but like, I did, but that's, I don't know. Okay, but that's the bottom. Really all there was to really talk about was just different versions of the Mafia, which we kind of got out of the way at the beginning right here. Like, this basically sums it up. Don't name it Fedora. That's a stupid name. That's bad. Fedoras are bad. Check the spreadsheet. I guess you could maybe get away with murder in the same way that fear kind of works, but the difference is a group of crows together is called a murder of crows, so that kind of works in two ways and is kind of clever. Now, I haven't played X and Y yet. I'm actually about to just buy it now because I've realized there's not much left on the 3DS for me to check out, and this is like one of the few games, so I don't know how true this is, but if that's associated with him, then sure. I know what he looks like because of the Rainbow Rocket post-game, and I feel like his stupid, horrible appearance is more associated with, like, Pyroar than Honchkrow, but that's whatever. But that's it. That's everything, and kind of like I said just a minute ago, really everything that was worth talking about was kind of repeated to hell and back, and it was mentioned at the beginning. Al Capone, Godfather, Scarface. I came up with Sting just now, just today. Ravenclaw I only actually saw like maybe one time, so it's not as popular as I thought. Nevermore could work. Like, there's not bad suggestions, but there's no suggestion that I'm in love with. If I had to pick anything, I might actually use Sting. So I might go with that. Last second addition, because I've thought of this during editing, another Mafia-styled nickname you could use for Honchkrow, I think Falcone, Carmine Falcone from the Batman series, that could work just as well as Scarface or the rest. Otherwise, provide your ideas in the comments below, and we can keep talking about Honchkrow and Murkrow, and we can come up with more good nickname ideas and help everybody in the entire internet to name their Pokemon things that aren't terrible. Or just make friends, I guess, if you want to do that.